Bonjour tout le monde. Comment allez-vous? Aujourd'hui, today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about gender in the French language, with specifically nouns, adjectives, and articles. Let's start with articles. What is an article anyway? An article are things like the, a, or an. There's two types. We have indefinite and definite articles. Based on the way that it sounds, indefinite article just means something that is indefinite, something that we're not sure about or not specific. So an indefinite article is something like a or an, and a definite article is something like the. We call that a definite article because it's something that we're sure about, one specific thing that we're talking about. Instead of saying a chair, generally, we're saying the chair. We're talking about one specific chair, right? So that's what that difference is. So in French, the definite articles are multiple because in French, everything is gendered. So we have le, la, les, and L with apostrophe. Let's start with le, L-E. This is known as masculine. What that means is that it's called masculine, and we use le with it when we're using definite article. So for example, le portable. We have le café. Attention. Sometimes when we're learning languages that have genders and English is our first language, we kind of jump to the conclusion that the speakers of that language associate every single object with a gender. So when I look at my phone, I don't think that this is a male phone exactly. I don't think that it's a male coffee, right? These words that we use are separated in a way. We don't connect them very closely to the gender, like sex gender of an object, if that makes sense. So before we get too far, I just want to clear that up. And it can be difficult, but when we're learning these, try not to think of it as like the male coffee, the female chair, right? Anyway, for definite articles, le for masculin, and then la, L-A, for féminin. So feminine nouns have la chaise, the chair, la fille, la femme, the girl, the woman. Voilà. What about les? L-E-S. Les is just plural. So if I'm talking about anything plural, whether it's masculine or féminin, I will use les. So whether I'm saying les portables, if there's more than one, or les chaises, it's going to be les for both. Ça va? C'est bon? And what about that last one, L apostrophe? We use that for both masculine and feminine. And we use that just when there is a vowel that starts the word. So for example, l'école, L apostrophe école. See how that's written? It's a feminine noun. So technically we would say la école, but when we're speaking, we're not going to stop la école if l'école is faster. C'est bon? And then we have indefinite articles. In English, our indefinite articles are a and an. What's the difference between a and an? Just, we use an when there's a vowel, right? We might say a book, but an apple. So, en français, in French, we have a few indefinite articles, but they don't work like a and an. It's not about the vowel, it's about the gender, right? Sometimes people see the un and the une, masculine and feminine respectively, and want to make that connection, but be wary of that. So once again, we'll start. We have un is like a or an. It could be either, right? For masculin. Something I want you to do right now, just take 2 fingers, pinch your nose, and go un. Why am I having you do that? It's because when we say un en français, in French, there's a nasal sound, and it comes from up here when we're making that sound. It's not it's It's up here. You'll feel it right here when you go like that. So just try that. And then féminin, une, U-N-E, une is feminine for a or in. So une chaise, a chair, un portable, un portable. Merci et au revoir.